So know that sometimes it can be helpful to take a look inside of a course before you actually join. And I'm going to walk you through what's inside of this course. So in the first section, we're going to go all into how to find your first clients, different niches that you can try, different ways to get those first few clients. And then we're going to talk about what you need to have on your own website in order to effectively bring in new clients. So what kind of pages do you have? What kind of content needs to be on those pages? And how can you start to cast that vision for what it's like to work with you as the designer? I have a lesson on how to use blogging or content creation to bring in new leads and bring in new audiences, which is one of the greatest ways to get in front of different audiences. It's also how you can improve your SEO and start showing up in ChatGPT search results. So it's kind of wild. I have a lesson on Showit Design Partners, how to become one, why you should become one. It's free, and there's a little bit of a detail about that. And then I also have a lesson on ways to use lead generation to build your mailing list. And this is where our lead magnet Canva template lives as well. So if you want to use that as a start for your lead magnet, it's all right there. Then we're going to dive into the initial emails involved in booking. You get my templates that I use and the collection guide that we send and what we include in that collection guide to lead to the discovery call process. So, different red flags involved in who might not be a good fit for you, who is a good fit for you, everything you need to think about before, during, and after the call, how to ensure that if somebody wants a contract, they sign it quickly and get that back to you. I have a walkthrough about the whole discovery call process, and I also have a script for you that gives you my exact language and wording that I use on discovery calls to kind of minimize questions, but make sure it's really helpful. Then we're going to dive into contracts. So all the little things that you should include in your contracts, what to think about. I don't actually have a contract for you, but I have some good sources for that. And I have some clauses that you can add that we've added to our own to avoid any like common sticky design scenarios. I'm going to teach you how to create and set up automated invoicing and contracts in Dubsado. Then, once somebody has signed and paid, we're going to take you through the branding questionnaire process. So, this is my template that we send all of our design clients, regardless of what they're doing, branding or not. We explain why we ask those questions and then how to use those questions to create really solid look and feels that are unique for every single client, regardless of whether you're starting a template or not. We have we have a lesson on what to look for in choosing a template if you don't have your own template, quality designers, how to make sure it's SEO friendly, and just all the other pieces that it needs to have in order to be easy for you to update and also easy for your clients to update. And then we also have a example of our template survey questionnaire. So this is a questionnaire that we send over before we start gathering content for our clients to help figure out what they like about their content, their template, what they don't like about their template, and just other things that we should think about. We found that really minimizes the back and forth in the design process because if a client wanted a super unique custom looking template, this helps us understand that versus some clients just want to stick really close to the original template because they really loved it. So that's what that one does. And then I have my content collection doc. So this is one of like, I think the most innovative things that we've created for our clients. And it's this whole big document right here that we send everyone to help gather content. There's a lot of text in there. There's a lot of education in there. You can drop in any images from any template and then just kind of tweak what's below. It's 35 pages long, but you'll send them over one at a time. These are all the different pages that we have outlined. And it really has made it easy to gather content. And I have some tutorials about how to use it, additional resources for content, and then a whole lesson here too. I have a lesson on how to curate your clients' images. So if they send you a big batch of images, how do you figure out what you need versus what you don't need on a website, how to go through those. I have a lesson on sizing images for websites to make sure that they're optimized and load quickly. I have a lesson on finding unique sources of client inspiration. So we're not going to be looking at other people's websites most likely. It'll be finding colors and fonts and some unique things that you can add to really make a template feel unique and not like a template. I have a lesson on typography, one of my favorite things. And so this is the way that you use fonts together to make text readable and beautiful. That's a fun one. And then I also have a lesson on creating a simple logo in Canva, just because some clients who come to you might not have a logo. And so I wanted you to know how to do that and how to export them in a way that makes them really crisp online. I have a lesson on how we track time for our clients, which is really important for billing and making sure that a project doesn't have go over our original time, and thus cost us time. I have a lesson on should you use their Showit account or your Showit account, how that whole process works. I have a lesson on the initial template load. So if you buy a template or a client buys a template, how to put that into Showit, how to get that started. Then I take you through the setup process. So we're going to start by setting up the logos and the colors in Showit, and that's going to streamline everything else in the process. We're going to go over fonts, so how to upload custom fonts, how to convert fonts if they are not the right file formats. We're going to go over working with canvases, adding images and video, how to do that in a way that streamlines the rest of the process. And then we're going to build out the homepage, which is the longest part of the process, but it sets the look and feel for everything else. And so it's really important that you get that right. I'm going to go over how we collect feedback. We have a few different ways that we do it. We've experimented with a lot of ways over the years. This is definitely the most straightforward. And I take you through that. I have a page or a lesson on how to set up a service page that sells this client services. I have a lesson on setting up the blog. I have one on the contact form. And then I also have one on site optimization and pre-launch testing. So we want to make sure that we do that to make sure that their SEO ranking is not going to get hurt when they launch this new site. And how to make sure that if they are ranking for certain things right now, you know of that, and then you can kind of carry that over to this new site. I have a lesson on our launch checklist. So after we have tested and we're ready to go live, what do I do? I have a lesson on doing a pre-launch audit of their existing site. So I kind of talked about that a few minutes ago. I have a lesson on creating launch graphics for a client, which is really going to make your marketing awesome. So we send these to our clients and we also use them on our own social accounts to share with the whole world what we've designed and what we've created. It makes it a lot more likely that clients talk about you as their designer. I have a lesson on launch gifts with some ideas of what to send as a launch gift and why we send a launch gift. And then we're going to go over making your client's site live. So you actually get to watch me update DNS settings, I think in GoDaddy, to make this website live. So that's a fun one. And I know that that's going to ease a lot of maybe worries that some people might have about actually hitting publish on a site. I'm going to go over a post-launch site audit. So what we're looking for after we've gone live and how we might fix any of the errors that we see in here. I'm going to teach you how to get really solid testimonials and then what to do with them, how to promote the site on your own marketing channels, and then some post-purchase support. So I have some questions in there too. And then we have some common troubleshooting questions. So some questions in here. And then we get to the bonuses, which is always fun. So we have different tools and resources that we mentioned in the whole course. They're all kind of consolidated there. We have a link to the Adesto website template for you to use for your website. And so that's in here. We have our bonus SEO designer one-on-one. So that's another course that you'll get access to. And this kind of gives a basic overview of if you don't see it in your account, how to find that. Here's our lead magnet PDF template again, our Canva client launch graphics, our bonus designer collection guide. So this is your pricing page that would be hidden and you send this once somebody inquires. This is our content collection document, our bonus strategy session with Elevate, links to our designer community, how to create gorgeous stock images from Midjourney, which we use every single day because not every client who comes to us has a big pool of images. And so this has really helped fill in the gaps there. Last bonus, which is brand new and will be available 30 days after your purchase. You get 3 copies of this template to use as a starting point. So a lot of people were coming to us saying that they didn't know how to convince their clients to buy templates or how to just guide them through that process, or maybe if they don't even have their own templates yet. And I didn't want that to be a fear for you guys. So 30 days after your purchase, you'll get access to these. And I think it's really going to make this process a lot easier for you.